Good evening, or whatever time of day it is when you're watching this. This is Professor S, and for the next 5 minutes or so, I want to talk to you about a couple groups of lipids that are built around this molecule above me, glycerol. Now, glycerol itself is not a lipid, it's an alcohol, but it's an alcohol that's used to build a couple other groups of lipids when it interacts with fatty acids. Let's start simple. We have glycerol with 3 hydroxyl groups. Here we have 3 fatty acids, each with a carboxyl group. If we allowed those carboxyls and hydroxyls to form covalent bonds, we get a triglyceride, 3 fatty acids bound to glycerol. Triglycerides are a group of lipids that we see used in a lot of different organisms, but especially animals, as a means for transporting and storing fatty acids. And when you keep in mind that fatty acids are sources of cellular fuel, used for storing cellular energy, used as building blocks, and they're being used as a building block here, in essence, triglycerides are playing a role in the transfer and storage of energy in any animals or other organisms that use them. But you know what? Triglycerides aren't the only groups that use glycerol among the lipids. Let's scroll that down the screen a little bit. And what I want to do now is replace one of those fatty acid chains, and I want to replace it specifically with this phosphate-containing group. And we have a whole new molecule. We have what's called a phospholipid. Now, when you look at this phospholipid, it's part of a group of lipids that are called amphipathic lipids. Notice that phosphate region that we added to glycerol contains 4 oxygens and a nitrogen. That region of the molecule is really hydrophilic. But then on the other end of the glycerol are 2 fatty acid tails, which are really hydrophobic. Amphipathic lipids have a smaller region, usually called the head, that is hydrophilic, and a larger tail region that's hydrophobic, and they're opposite each other. And so this molecule has large hydrophilic regions and larger hydrophobic regions. Amphi meaning both ways, like, amphibians, land and water, hydrophilic and hydrophobic. Molecules like phospholipids are extremely useful as building materials because of this reality. Now, truth be told, this molecule is pretty large, but it's also really complex when we look at it in the ball and stick form. And we deal with this particular molecule a lot in biology. So we usually deal with it in a cartooned form in which we have a roundish head region and straight tail regions, kind of like this guy over here to my right. Now, if we get rid of the ball and stick model and shrink this big guy down into a smaller size and look at what happens when we throw a molecule like this into water, into an aqueous solution, we see all the water molecules can hydrogen bond with the head, but not with the tail. And so as this molecule interacts with water, the heads can stick to water, the tails can't, and so the tails end up clustering near each other, and they form into these structures called micelles, spontaneously. They form essentially these spheres, these bubbles, with tails pointing inward and heads pointing outward. They do this automatically. And if you get enough of these things together, the micelles will start to flatten out and form membranes, barriers, sheets. Plasma membranes, cellular membranes, organelle membranes, they're all built from phospholipids. Phospholipids are really important building material in cells. And there are other organic molecules that are amphipathic lipids that I'm not going to talk about here, but I'll probably make mention from time to time in other videos. And what they share in common with phospholipids is that hydrophilic head and that hydrophobic tail. And there we have triglycerides and phospholipids.
Why do you have that?
What do you mean, why do I have it? It's my guitar. That's why I have it. I just thought it would be useful in one of these promos for me to bring some music into the thing. So this time I'm going to play...
No. That's copyright infringement. We could get sued by the artist.
Look, most of the time these days, the artists don't own their own copyrights. And to be really honest with you, that's your problem more than mine. So I just want to go ahead and play...
No, we're not allowed to do that. I don't want to get sued.
Fine. Hey, this is Professor S. If you enjoyed that video, here's a couple others you may also enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see everything new as it comes out. And with that said, here we go! Now!